Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the MLB Home Run Betting Challenge, or as I like to call it, the Dong Report, where I bet $1 on my favorite home run picks for the day. Yesterday had an incredible day. I gave out 9 picks on this YouTube channel. We got 3 of those 9 to cash, and we ended the day up $10.90. So whatever your unit size is, up 10.9 units in one day of betting. It's pretty good. Overall, we are obviously squarely in the green as well, up $29.45 since I started doing this MLB home run betting challenge. Just been an insane success. So for today, I have 10 picks for you guys. Absolutely loved the home run slate for today, and I got 10 for you guys. Before I get into it, couple housekeeping items. Number one, while you're here, would just appreciate it if you could like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then comment as you're going along, letting me know what you think of my picks. And number two, I recently just launched a membership option for my YouTube channel. So if you want to become a Jedi in training, I have 2 different tiers for you guys, a $1 a month one, a $5 a month one. And if you're interested, the very first link in the description of the video shows you the different types of perks and what they offer. And if you have any questions, of course, don't hesitate to reach out. But enough housekeeping items, enough BS. Let's get into these home run picks. And as I mentioned, I have 10 for you guys today. If we get all 10 to cash, which is probably going to happen, we will profit $38.55. Not to mention, if you put them in a parlay for like 50 cents, you will profit $1 million if we get all 10 to cash, which, if we're being honest, we probably will. First pick of the evening, we are going in the Phillies versus Nats game, and we are taking Trey Turner to hit a home run plus 560 odds at FanDuel. Now, every single pick is going to be on FanDuel except for the very last one. So if I forget to mention the book, except for the last one, it's going to be FanDuel. Now, in terms of this game and this pick alone, admittedly, I feel nervous backing a Phillies batter. At this point, I had Schwarber yesterday who did not hit a dong for us. The Phillies have just been struggling all year, specifically their bats, specifically their big bats. But I am just trusting the data, trusting the value on the EV page. So I'm not just going to completely avoid them just because it feels gross. In terms of Turner himself, everybody knows that he is having just a brutal year. The good news is, slight good news is that he hasn't hit in 2 straight games. Now, I understand that is a low bar, but he was hitless in the previous 3 games prior to that. So at least he's getting some hits, which, yeah, not great. In terms of the pitching matchup, Mackenzie Gore will be pitching for the Nats, who you might think of the Nats as a bad team. Mackenzie Gore is a pretty good pitcher, but he can be had in terms of home runs being hit. He's given up 8 home runs in 58 innings pitched. Now, Trey has really been struggling. He last hit a home run on May 24th. He's got 5 on the year, but maybe going against his former team in the Nats in Washington, maybe he just a little bit of a spark generates. We'll see. But regardless, we're going with Trey Turner as our first pick. Next up in the Rockies versus Royals game, we are taking MJ Melendez to hit a home run. That is at plus 600 odds at FanDuel. Now, we've gone with Melendez a couple times for this home run betting challenge, and I have gotten him to cash for us. So at least we have a little bit of history of success with that. Although I will say, admittedly, the young catcher for the Royals is not having a great year overall. Along with Trey, he only has 5 home runs on the year, and the last one he hit was on May 28th. So one of those 5, we got him to cash. Another one of those 5 was hit just a couple days ago on May 28th. The good news is he's got a very positive pitching matchup for him. Austin Gomber is pitching for the Rockies, and that guy is definitely gettable. Now, I mentioned Mackenzie Gore had given up 8 home runs in 58 innings pitched. Well, Austin Gomber has given up 12 home runs in 54 innings pitched. So definitely a significantly more plus pitching matchup that MJ Melendez and the Royals hitters will have for this one as he rounds out our second pick. Next up in the Yankees versus Dodgers game, we are taking Aaron Judge to hit a home run. That is at plus 210 odds at FanDuel. Now, one note here. This is the first one where I'm recommending you up your unit size for this one. So normally I track these at $1. For this one, I'm tracking at $1.50. So whatever you normally put on these home run bets, I recommend putting 50% more on this Aaron Judge one, because this is really juicy. Now, plus 210 obviously isn't great. That's pretty low for a home run to be hit. But the reason why is very, very, you understand the reason why. Number one, it is the most positive home run correlation game in terms of weather the entire day. The wind is blowing out at Dodgers Stadium, very, very conducive for home runs to be hit. And you also specifically want to target Yankees hitters because of the young pitcher the Dodgers have on the mound. Michael Grove is definitely gettable. He's gotten shelled. He's only pitched a couple times. He's gotten shelled. He's pitched 16 innings on the year, and he's given up 15 earned runs. Now, he's only given up 2 home runs, but that's still not a great average. 2 home runs every 16 innings pitched, especially for a game like this one where the weather is so juicy for us specifically. I absolutely love the value here, so that's why I'm upping my unit size. Now, as for Judge, for his standards, he's in a mini slump. He hasn't hit a home run in 2 straight games, which for Judge is a lot. Now, prior to that, he had hit a home run in 3 straight games, and I hit 4 total in that 3-game span, so he was bound to come back down to earth. But for today, there were just so many factors in favor of Judge hitting a home run that I just had to up the unit size a little bit. And this is the first time that I've done that and the only time for this specific video. So Aaron Judge as our 3rd pick. Next up, we have 2 players in the Braves versus Diamondbacks game. Both of them are going to be Braves hitters. The first one, we are going with Eddie Rosario to hit a home run plus 540 odds at FanDuel. So the reason why I like this game for Braves hitters, the Diamondbacks pitcher Ryan Nelson is on the mound. Simply not a good pitcher, really no other way to say it. Gives up a lot of home runs. So Braves hitters will have a positive pitching matchup when the starting pitcher is in. As for Eddie Rosario himself, he hit 2 home runs yesterday. So there's always the concern of, is he going to be able to keep up the hot streak after hitting 2 yesterday? How likely is it that he's going to hit another one today? Nobody knows the answer to that question, and I'll back players that are hot, I'll back players that are cold. Really, the only thing that we can do here is just trust the data, and it's worked just insanely for us since we've been doing this home run betting challenge, so we're not going to change up anything. So I can't tell you whether he will continue to stay hot or not, but I can tell you that he's got an awesome opportunity and that the value is in our favor, so we are riding with it. Eddie Rosario. Next up, obviously, as I mentioned, in the same game, we are backing Marcel Ozuna to hit a home run. That is at plus 350 odds at FanDuel. So another hitter for the Braves. Obviously, everything I said about the pitching matchup for Braves hitters still applies here. Everything that applies to Rosario will apply to Ozuna in this case. As for Ozuna, he had a stretch earlier in May, just about a week ago, where he hit a home run in 3 straight games. That was from May 24th to May 26th. And he has not hit a home run since that date, since May 26th. So it's kind of funny because Marcel Ozuna is on a cold streak, Eddie Rosario is on a hot streak, and we are betting both of them. So by that logic, if the hot player stays hot, we're good. If the cold player breaks out of his slump, then we're good. Or possibly both happens. The hot player stays hot, the cold player breaks out of a slump, and we get both of these to cash. Wouldn't that just be lovely? But that rounds out our 2 picks in the Braves versus Diamondbacks game. Next up, we got to play in the Guardians versus Twins game, and we're taking Jorge Polanco to hit a home run plus 540 odds at FanDuel. Now, we went with Polanco yesterday, and he was so close to getting a home run for us, but it did not quite make it out of the yard. So that chalks up as an L, unfortunately. You don't get points for him being close to hitting a home run. But that doesn't completely scare me off for tonight, right? All the logic that I said yesterday about Polanco pretty much still applies. And a brief cliff notes of that is Polanco missed 2 weeks to injury. Prior to that, he was pretty hot. He had hit 2 home runs in his last 4 games prior to the injury. He has now played 2 games since he has come back from injury, and he's played pretty well. And both of them, obviously, yesterday, I mentioned, was very close to hitting a home run. Obviously, the difference here is being the pitching matchup, which admittedly is a little bit scary. The Guardians have a pretty good young pitcher on the mound in Logan Allen. He's only 23 years old, but he's got a 2.72 ERA through 39 2/3 innings pitched, and it's only given up 2 home runs on the year. So admittedly, there is a little bit of risk here, but A, it's a home run, so there's always going to be risk. B, that's why we're getting pretty decent odds at plus 540. And C, Polanco still has a good chance to hit a home run tonight, so we are riding with him. Now we have 2 more picks left for this home run betting challenge. Both of them are going to be in the Angels versus Astros game with 1 player on each team. First up, we are taking Hunter Renfro to hit a home run plus 400 odds at FanDuel. Now, admittedly, this one is a little scary as the Astros have Christian Javier on the mound. Christian Javier is obviously a stud. Renfro has gone up against him before. He's got 5 at-bats against Christian Javier. The bad news is he's only got 1 hit. The good news is that 1 hit was a home run as he hit a 2-run dong off of Christian Javier. So at least in the limited sample size that we have, Renfro does have a home run against Christian Javier. But I will admit, talk about a cold spell with Marcel Ozuna. Renfro is on an even bigger cold spell. If you look at his total stats, you see that he's hit 10 home runs on the year. And you're like, oh, that's not bad. That's pretty good. And then you realize he hasn't hit a home run since May 10th. And things get a little bit scarier. So obviously he had an insane run up until May 10th and has just been on an insane cold streak since then. But we will trust him to turn that around tonight. In terms of weather, really not a factor here as the roof will be closed at Minute Maid Park. The good news there is that Minute Maid Park is a hitter's park. So even with not having positive wind direction and stuff like that, it's still positive for home runs to be hit because of the ballpark in general. So we will trust Hunter Renfro to break his cold streak. In our last pick of the evening, we are going with Jose Altuve to hit a home run plus 550 odds at Caesars, obviously in the same game, Angels versus Astros. So for this one, Altuve will be going up against Patrick Sandoval, obviously, who will be pitching for the Angels. Another pretty good pitcher, so we do have a pretty decent pitching matchup here. But Altuve has played well since he came back from injury. Now, he's only hit 2 home runs since he's come back from injury, but that's also only in 42 at-bats when he went yard in back-to-back games about a week ago. And overall, he's batting .286, and with such a low number of at-bats, that sample size is obviously very small, so the average will swing. Like just a couple days ago, he was batting .370, then he had an 0-4 and an 0-3 stretch, and now that's all the way down to .286. So obviously you need to take those stats with a grain of salt, but 2 home runs, 1 in back-to-back games just a couple days ago is good for us. And as I mentioned, being played at Minute Maid Park with the roof closed is a positive for home runs as well. And that rounds out our 10 picks for the evening. So as I mentioned, if you are tailing any and all of these 10, comment and let me know. If there's a player that you like to hit a home run that I did not pick for mine, comment and let me know as well. Other than that, remember to like, subscribe, check out the membership options if you want to become a Jedi in training. Thanks for watching and have a good one.